I should go now. Here I go. Welcome back to ASI's 2017, SecurityGuideTV.com. Chuck Harrell, look at that. I didn't make a mistake, Sean. I got it right. Joe McCarthy, Fenian Polygraph Services.
Fenian Polygraph Services.
Now, you're a walk-on here. I love the walk-ons.
Yeah,
right?
well,
Because I don't know what the heck I'm going to talk about, but we talked about polygraphs, how I went to 15 polygraphs at the police department, standard questions, that kind of thing, and you said, I'm going to blow you away with what really goes on with polygraphs, and especially in relationship to, in California, we call them sexually violent predators, or I guess you would call them, pedophile's not the total right word. Because
we call them sexual offenders.
Yeah, but it could include a pedophile, but something even worse, right? I mean, they're all sexual offenders. Yeah.
Completely.
So tell us what you guys do. Where are you located, by the way?
I am located in McKinney, Texas.
Okay.
Fenian Polygraph Services, fair, independent, and unbiased verification of the truth exams.
Oh, and there's a tattoo to prove it. Veritas, yeah.
Veritas.
Right.
I'll let my competition handle lie detector tests. I give verification of the truth exams.
Okay. Distinguish those for me.
It just sounds really better, doesn't it?
It does sound better. That's true.
There's more of a positive spin. I mean, lie detector is such a strong word.
Right. And you're presuming he's lying.
Verification of the truth.
Right.
It sounds better. People actually almost can't wait to sit down with me.
Well, and that's what we do as police officers.
Right.
We verify what you're saying. We don't go out and say liar, and then because if that means I already have a conclusion, and have a conclusion first doesn't work.
When you do have a guilty person in front of you, it's been my experience anyway that people are more inclined to talk to their friend, not their inquisitor.
That's true. Good point.
And this is the direction that Fenian Polygraph Services chooses to take.
Okay.
Because we specialize in polygraphing convicted sex offenders.
All right.
And typically, if you go in there with too strong of an attitude, they'll bottle up on you.
Right.
You don't want them to bottle up on you. You want them to tell you everything.
Right.
So sometimes a little bit more of an easier approach can get things done. You can always go from nice guy to jerk, but it's very difficult to go from jerk to nice guy.
Well, that's brilliant, and of course, this is the basis of good police work.
Exactly.
Right? Good cop, bad cop. I was always a good cop. I always got more out of it. It works that way.
Yeah, the fun is sometimes the bad cop's kind of fun, but the good cop gets more done.
Now, I'm going to take a guess here. Are you verifying that they're in compliance with what they're told to do on their probation, on the release program? Let's talk about that.
Well, there are different types of tests for sex offender polygraph, and the first test is an instant offense test. And that's when somebody's beginning their probation or parole, and they're in denial about their offense.
Okay.
So what we want to do is we want to bring them out of denial, because you cannot begin a program until you would, admit that there's a problem.
So they get convicted, but they still deny it, or what?
Oh, yeah. Oftentimes, sex offenders will still deny their...
oh, that's interesting. Okay.
I was wrongly convicted because,
yeah,
everybody in prison didn't do it.
That's right.
Then there's the sexual history test, where we're testing their entire sexual history from their first memory or experience all the way up to the time of their offense. How many different victims that they've had, what are their sexual urges, proclivity, et cetera, et cetera. And that's mainly for therapy issues.
Okay, so you're verifying their known entity, their known criminal record.
Right.
And you might catch them saying, I didn't do that particular offense, or maybe they're embellishing and adding to that.
And they could be.
All right, interesting,
But the history test is also to find out if there's more victims out there.
Oh, yes, okay, good.
Okay. Are they into BD and S&M? Are they into other sexual paraphilias that might lead to a triggering event where they might reoffend?
Okay.
Then we got the maintenance test. This is the test that you give yearly. And this test tests over issues of probation or parole and treatment conditions. Are they doing drugs? Are they looking at pornography? What are their email addresses? Don't we want to know what those are?
Yeah.
Don't we want to know if they have a cell phone with internet access on it? That would be kind of interesting information to get too, wouldn't it?
Now, those questions in a traditional polygraph would be, do you have other email addresses? And me anticipating that question makes me nervous.
Right.
And I supposedly, if I'm going to lie, I'm going to get nervous and say no when I'm lying. That's not what we're talking about here. Tell me how you differentiate that.
Polygraph doesn't really measure a lie. That's a myth.
All right.
Okay. Polygraph measures your fear of being caught in a lie and the cognitive memory of the experience.
Okay.
Okay. And nervousness is actually a good thing in polygraph, because what we're doing is we're taking that baseline and we're looking for three things. First of all, we're looking for a specific response. From the moment we start asking the question to the moment they answer it, we'll see a response between those 2 points in time. Second thing we're looking for is a significant response. It's the difference between oh crap and holy crap. Okay,
That's a good point.
That's the basic
All
English
right.
way of putting it. And the last thing that we're looking for is consistency. Okay, is that response consistent to the same question on each chart? We run three
very
charts.
good. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you're
So-
cool, you're just kind of you're mellow. You're doing the same thing for
Exactly.
everything you talk about. Yeah.
But we do also have other issues within the polygraph that I can't really discuss here.
Sure.
I am really big, and I've been very big about this in the polygraph industry since I've entered it, giving each and every person a fair, independent, and unbiased polygraph. Now,
Okay.
what does that mean? It means fair to the examinee, fair to his sex offender therapist, fair to his probation officer, but most of all, fair to the people of Texas. Because these tests, ultimately, we're trying to keep an eye on these guys.
Right.
And I'm the guy that, I look at it as I'm the guy that stands in between the potential sexual predator and a child.
That's a very good way to put
I'm
it.
the guy that sits in between them. I'm the guy you never see. And I'm perfectly happy with that.
Now, you don't often hear about your profession tied to these sort of cases and people.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a weird question, but is this a unique Texas thing? Does every state do this kind of thing? Or what do
Most states do this just
Okay.
on different levels and different variations.
Right.
In the state of Texas, it's the law that they do have to take these tests. There's very strict licensing here in the state of Texas, and we got to follow certain guidelines and everything. But yes, in Texas, it's very big, and it's actually been proven to lower the recidivism rate
Interesting.
in sexual.
Because you're working with the
cases.
therapist to keep
We're
them
working
honest.
with the therapist. It's called
Yeah.
the containment approach.
All right.
Polygraph, therapist, and probation officer. It's worked so well that in some counties they've actually even started doing this for repeat DWI offenders.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think that's a great idea
Yeah.
too, because we're asking over the past year, have you used alcohol? Well, we want to know if they've used alcohol
Right.
because that's against their probation
Sure.
conditions.
Yeah.
Are you looking at pornography? Are you looking at sexually suggestive material? Have you had any access intentionally for a prolonged period of time with any child safety zone or any child for that matter? These are the typical questions
Yeah.
on a maintenance polygraph.
Now, just as a general ballpark, would you say that 50% of the offenders tell the truth and 50% lie, or do you have any kind of rough number on that kind
It
of
can
stuff?
go either which way. I mean, after a while, they begin to realize that telling the truth is a lot easier
Okay.
than telling a
That's
lie.
good then. That works.
And I guess in a way, it kind of can work as cognitive reconditioning in
Right.
a way.
Right.
But they begin to realize that telling the truth is easier than telling a lie. You get into a lot less trouble.
Yeah.
And of course, that's one of the routes I take when I go into interrogation. Talk to me. I'll go to your PO, see what we can do, work
Do you
something
think
out.
it's a unique offender that, because you mentioned this about them denying things, is it a type of offender that is riddled with guilt and that's why they deny it? Most robbers, they're going to deny it to not go to jail and get in trouble. But if you talk to them on the side, they're proud of the fact that they got balls to walk in and rob a grocery store, right?
One of my favorite questions when I'm doing police department tests for people that have just been caught or brought in for questioning is sometimes every once in a while I'll just throw out there, let me ask you a question. Are you sorry you did this or are you sorry you got caught?
Yeah.
And the answer varies sometimes. There are some people that are saying, I'm just sorry I got caught.
Yeah.
Most people will say, I'm sorry I did this, but I would pretty much say if you just got caught for child pornography, of course you're sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sad thing to say, but the truth is, people do things they like to do.
Right.
We, as a society, don't like it, but the average person doesn't do something they don't want to do or don't like to do.
Right.
They avoid that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Very interesting. Joe McCarthy, Fenian Polygraph Services.
Fenian Polygraph Services.
What's that Texas town again?
McKinney, Texas.
McKinney, Texas.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming on the show. I'm glad you walked in and started chatting with me.
And thank
Fascinating
you so much,
subject.
sir. I really appreciate the
Give
opportunity.
me a call anytime you want. We'll do some more about this.
You
Fascinating
too.
subject.
Thanks a lot.
Back in a minute here on SecurityGuideTV.com with Chuck Harold, Mr. Sean, my backup engineer, ASIS 2017 at the As Is. Oh, I said As Is again. I'm sorry. The ASIS Hub, booth 1613. Back in a minute. Thanks. All right, we're out. All right, we're out. All right, we're out. All right, we're out.